So this video will cover the importance of saving with NVivo. So say I'm going to start a new project. I click New Project, and it opens this window where I say like Project Title, right? So I'm going to write just New Project, maybe super generic. So if you notice here under File Name, it's going to tell me where it's going to be saved, right? So in my case, I have a lot of NVivo files here on this Dropbox account. The real thing you want to keep track of is if I click Browse, it'll tell me all these different places I can save it. So I have Dropbox on my computer. I save things in the cloud. I have OneDrive on my computer that may not be on your university computers, right? So if there's OneDrive, that's also in the cloud. I want to be suspicious of anything that's like documents, right? That's usually on the desktop. So if I go all the way down to this PC and I click on this PC, one of the things that I have is my Y drive, right? So I can save it to here. In this case, I'm not a student, so like for faculty it would be a U drive, right? So I could kind of select, I'm gonna save it to my U drive, right? I could select that. I could give it a new file name and say, this is where I want to open this new project. And what that means is that every time I save this project, it will be saved here in this place. I can go find it again there when I want to look at it later. Right? It'll also ask me about autosave. You can either have autosave on or it'll remind you to save it for 15 minutes. Honestly, we're often doing such intensive work that you really kind of want to save it. Also create a recovery file, right? This is just really honoring the fact that this is very hard work, right? And so you can also browse and like pick a place where that is. So you don't want to save this on the desktop of a public computer, right? If you do, I'm going to show you what you can do if you end up being like, oh shoot, I don't know where I saved it. Right, so we can create this project. We can go in and make files and do all kinds of things in it. So say we're doing some work on it for a while and we code in the file and then we realize, shoot, I don't know where I saved it, right? So if you notice I go on save, because it's auto saving, it's not going to let us like go and save it somewhere else. But what I can do is I can click copy project. And here I can do things like change it into a Mac file, which if you were like using a Mac version of the software on your computer, you might want. But I can change it, I can copy it to a new location. So I can say, oh, actually, I really want you in my Dropbox folder, actually. And so I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to put you in my Dropbox folder. And I'm going to give you a new file name. So I'm going to be like new project 2 or something like that. Because I might want to access it somewhere else. If I click on that, it'll save it as, when the end of my work, it'll save this copy of all the things I've done. If you notice, there's a certain amount of paranoia here. We don't want to spend hours coding and then save it to the desktop and have nothing to show for it later.